Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome to another CAMG SEO stream, and we are talking today about the hottest topic in digital marketing, ChatGPT. ChatGPT has been getting a lot of attention in the SEO industry recently, including a code red at Google, which has put them on high alert to make the team aware at Google that ChatGPT is a potential disruptor to search. AI technologies like ChatGPT can one day replace Google search if Google doesn't continue to improve their results, make Google more interactive, but rest assured, SEO is not dead. Google search is where the majority of web traffic comes from. We're going to talk today about what ChatGPT is, what ChatGPT isn't, how you can use it, and how you shouldn't use it. So I'm even going to give you some examples of ways that you could use ChatGPT today with sharing my screen and showing you some ways that I've been testing it out here at CAMG. So the first thing I want to talk about is what ChatGPT actually is. ChatGPT is an artificial intelligence. It's trained by a bunch of data and as well as human responses. So it is given and fed a bunch of data, and then humans kind of feed the machine learning to teach it whether or not these are things that they should or should not be showing as results for ChatGPT queries. I want to point out the first thing that I've been getting a lot of questions about recently. ChatGPT is not a replacement for a content writer. I'm going to show you some examples specifically why it is not a replacement for a content writer. Purely AI generated content, first off, is against Google guidelines. There are rumors that there are watermarks on AI written content, where there will be watermarks on AI written content to help Google identify whether or not content has been generated by a machine. But Google has come out and they have said it is against Google guidelines to create content strictly through AI. The content that you can create through ChatGPT, it is very repetitive, it is generic, it also summarizes existing resources. This is something that you really need to make sure you're paying attention to when you're feeding it with information. The content is not, or the data that it is using is not recent. ChatGPT only includes data through 2021. It's unaware of current events. It doesn't have anything from 2022, definitely not from 2023. So make sure that when you are using it, that you are leveraging only things that are older than at least a year and change. I'm going to show you some things here. We'll pull up my screen. And what I want to show you first is that ChatGPT does not give you great content. This is really important, because the content that it's providing you is something that is it is generic, it is somewhat regurgitated. We'll make this a little bit bigger for you. And what you'll notice here, first thing I did was I said, please provide an SEO optimized content outline with headings. So it's very specific for a page about New York City car accident lawyers. And what I got was a pretty good outline. I got headings, I got bullets. This is actually a great way to use ChatGPT to give you inspiration and writing prompts. The next thing I did was asked it to please write me a page on New York City car accident lawyers. And you have to keep in mind that ChatGPT has threaded conversations. So you can see I have multiple conversations here on the left. What you talk to ChatGPT about in each conversation, it learns and then provides you feedback on your next question or prompt that you give it. So when I asked it to write me a page about New York City car accident lawyers, it then gave me a page based on the headings that I showed you previously. Again, page is generic, not very specific at all, and it does follow the headings from the content outline that I asked it for. Then I opened up another thread and I said, please write me a page on New York City car accident lawyers. And I got a page that wasn't based on the headings, but is also very generic. I then gave it the same prompt again in another thread. And this one, very similar to the last one. So you'll see here, New York City is home to a diverse and bustling population with millions of people driving. New York City is a bustling metropolis with millions of residents and visitors traveling by car each day. So what ChatGPT does is it's taking the data that it has and it's really just providing it back to you in a different way. This is not content that you should be using on your website. You need to make sure that you are not taking this content from here and just throwing it in a blog post or throwing it on an evergreen page, because you will not get great results from Google. You will also have competitors who are trying to do the same thing and your content will be nearly identical. So you need to make sure that you're not doing that. Another thing that I need to point out is that the content and response that it gives you is only as good as the prompt that you are giving it. Garbage in, garbage out. So make sure that you are providing it great prompts, as detailed as possible, because ChatGPT today does not ask clarifying questions. It makes assumptions about what you're asking it and then provides you a response. It doesn't tell you if it thinks it's accurate or it may have a question. It literally just takes what you give it and then gives you its best possible response for that. Also, ChatGPT has somewhat of an inherent bias based on the data that it was fed and the humans that taught the algorithm. So you'll see here on the right-hand side, you can give a thumbs up or a thumbs down. The AI continues to learn on a regular basis as people are feeding it a positive or a negative response. It is getting better, but it is not great. I'm going to show you something that I fed it this morning. So last night there was this Monday Night Football game where tragically Damar Hamlin on the Buffalo Bills collapsed on the field during a play. And I took the article from ESPN and I said, please write a 500-word blog post summary of this news article. In the first sentence, you'll see the date is wrong. Nowhere in the article does it say September 22nd, 2021. Somehow ChatGPT took the content and the response that it gave was pretty much inaccurate. It says that the game was stopped for 20 minutes. It doesn't say that the game was actually postponed. It tells you the game resumed and the Bills went on to win the game, which is not what happened. So you need to be very, very careful. What you're feeding it doesn't always give you the response that you expect. So you need to read the response. Something else that I did was I asked for alt text. This is actually a great example of how you can use ChatGPT. The alt text here is obviously much longer than you would want for standard alt text for SEO purposes, but you can give it an image and then ask for the alt text. This is sort of like you looking into the future about what ChatGPT could do. I think if you provide it with a very clear direction, it can give you a very clear response. So what else can you use it for? Well, you can summarize existing content. And actually a great use case for ChatGPT is to take an existing article and have it write either a hummingbird text or a meta description for you. These sort of repetitive tasks that you would give someone to do where they're looking at content, trying to write a good meta description or trying to summarize hummingbird text, which is the summary that you sometimes see at the top of a page. ChatGPT could do this, but again, you need to read it to make sure that it is accurate. Another good use case is to generate frequently asked questions. So provide a block of copy and then say, please give me a few questions or frequently asked questions about this copy, or even without the copy, just ask for a specific topic. So please provide me 10 questions about brain injuries in New Hampshire, and it will give you some questions back. ChatGPT can also help you accelerate research and provide you sources. So you can ask it to give you some sources or scholarly articles on a certain topic. Great use case for that. Something else that I've seen it being used for is for coding. So it can actually write code for you and can QA your code. For SEO purposes, a lot of SEOs are using ChatGPT to write schema markup. This is something that helps Google understand the context of the copy on a page. It's sometimes called structured data markup. you can use ChatGPT to write that. My favorite use case for ChatGPT is content outlines, content inspiration. So giving it a prompt and having it provide you some ideas, some things that you can provide your writers to write about. The main thing that I really want to point out to you is that this is a very, very early technology. It is still in beta. It is not something that in 2023, at least at the beginning of 2023, that is going to revolutionize SEO. Currently, it helps you get some tasks done a little bit quicker. It has great promise. The sky's the limit. The models will continue to improve. They'll become more useful over time. They'll better understand the inputs. They'll eventually ask clarifying questions. They'll be able to understand current events and be fed with more recent data. But today, this is just a proof of concept to show you that this idea of an AI chatbot that you can talk to and ask questions can work. Google is developing their own similar version of ChatGPT. It's called Lambda. That's something that obviously is not publicly available yet. There's actually been some news about Lambda recently and how an engineer at Google said that Lambda is becoming sentient. These are things that are going to become more common over time, that AI, machine learning, chatbots are going to be something that we're going to be using in the future. But as of today, ChatGPT and AI is not a replacement for SEO content writers. It's not a replacement to write blog posts for you. It's not a replacement to just write social media posts. It's just something that is going to become popular. It has some use cases today, but for the most part, it's not really something that you can use to replace much of what you're doing today on the SEO front. I will keep an eye on this, and I will continue to provide videos as I learn more about ChatGPT and other advancements in AI and things that are coming to SEO. Thanks for watching again, and we will talk to you soon.